I'm accessorizing. I learned it from watching you loot everything that wasn't welded in place.
Sandwich you want to eat.
Take the pressure off with Anti-Fizzos, bottled under more than 3 atmospheres of pressure.
Sometimes I get the feeling we're not welcome here. Texas folks resent us delivery.
Whenever you curse your tough luck, just remember.
Ah, Inez. Have you come back for a tune-up? I've got just the injection for that. Freezes those pesky muscles right back into place.
No, yeah, a tune-up sounds good. I actually brought a few other grafting parts with me, if you reckon my arm can handle a stitch or two.
Oh, these are pristine indeed. Is this of an ursopod? My, I haven't seen one of those in many years. Oh, and a mantis swarm hive. The hunting must be good wherever you ran off to.
Yeah, you could say that. Since Doc's given her blessing, which do you reckon I go with? The ursopod's mucus gland could absorb some incoming damage, if you don't mind getting a little sticky. The mantis swarm hive, however, would be best for crowd control. Say the word, and I'll sick these little guys on any enemy in our vicinity. I'm intrigued by either option, really. Hive it is. Just refrain from any buzzing jokes.
Oh, the mantis swarm is a wonderful choice. Hold still, dear. There. I dare say you won't be needing any tune-ups in the near future. But I do trust you'll find an excuse to come by for the occasional visit. By the by, where did you find these parts? What is it, dear? You look, well, a bit like you've been stung by a terror ray. I've got ointment for that too, you know.
There's a grafting lab way out on Cloister that was still operational. Till recently. I found it, Doc. And... Law. I ain't seen any horrors like that.
Still operating? Inez, do you feel all right? The program was shut down more than 6 months ago. Any further funding would be in direct violation of Auntie's orders.
I know what I saw. They were brutalizing folk and creatures. Paying them no mind, giving them no honor, even if they succumb to the process. The doctor there, he killed a friend of mine. And you're telling me you knew nothing of it?
Inez, I swear I didn't. That sounds... Oh, Sovereign's mercy, that sounds precisely like what I would protest with every breath.
The creatures they were experimenting on broke out of their cages, killed most of the staff. But you know what's worse? Keeping a dead soldier's body on display. Like a thing. I found the doctor in charge, still alive. We spoke briefly, and I allowed him to live. On the condition that he redeems himself and uses his research for good.
But this ain't the extent of it, I fear. I need to find out who's responsible for all the...
Oh, Inez, I know you do. But with the program officially shuttered, it would be awfully difficult to ascertain which individual has the pockets to fund such a... Wait. Yes, that does shed light on a correspondence I received recently. A vice president sent a message asking for my presence and scientific expertise to discuss a unique opportunity. I found the secrecy odd at the time, but I do suppose it lines up with your discovery. His name is Willard Conan, VP of Experimental Operations. The very man who was in charge of the grafting program at its inception. He's... Oh, I know that look. If you mean to do something, I beg you.
I just mean to have a little chat. I will be asking Willard to reform the grafting program. You heard from Dr. Rasmussen, right? I spared him and his research for this purpose. If there's good to be had from the program, then Willard needs to invest in that good. And you're my first choice to lead the new program.
You honor me. I did receive a message from a Rasmussen, yes. He is on his way with research to hand over to me. But it would bring purpose back into my work. All of Fairfield knows as well as I that I've been craving it for some time. And if it helps folk like Inez, I will help you. Vice President Conan's office is aboard the Undisputed Claim, the flagship of Auntie's Choice. I do not know where exactly, as I've never been, but it's my understanding that you will need to present this calling card to gain entry. Inez, what you are doing is noble, and I wish you the greatest of successes.
Thank you, Doc. Now, you get those grafting tools ready, because I ain't intending to fail.
Major disturbance detected! Daddy, eye above.
Commander, I've been thinking. We got the intel we need, Commander. The undisputed claims our destination. If we find this Willard and convince him to use this grafting research for folks' betterment, well then, all this hurt we've seen will have counted for something. Been doing some thinking about what happened in the lab. I went there to kill that man for what he did to Ortiz, and instead, let him walk away with his research. Didn't realize till I saw the lab what a fool I was. All for thinking that company folk gave a damn about each other. Even so, I still reckon we got a real shot of making things better. Auntie's choice can't be trusted on their own with this research, that's clear. But if someone like me were to guide them, maybe they can be shaped into what I thought they were. If they could actually help folk like they claimed they would when they liberated Tau Ceti, it'd make life better for anyone. Elsewise, there'll only be more victims in their wake. Ain't just saying that, are you? Ortiz sent me a message because he knew I would take action, that I'd remedy the betrayal both of us faced. If he were here now, he'd understand, I think. Are you with me? Thanks, Commander. Maybe this is what folk mean by the architects setting things in motion. If I hadn't broken my contract, I wouldn't be here. Maybe proving myself was never the intention. Maybe this is what I was meant to do. Let's just see what Willard's got to say, all right?
maybe now I can get to the truth of this kill order nonsense. I just need to check our comms device for a coded message from my old acquaintance, Severin. I knew it! He wants to help me find out who's behind this. I sent a reply telling him to meet me here on Cloister. It's not too far and should be safe.
don't know you, but you, I do. It's good to see you, Asa. It's me, Severin. You know, I've never been to Cloister before. It's cold.
What is wrong with you? Boy, damn it. Did they mentally refresh you?
No, let's just say I'm well lubricated. You tried the new Prestige gin? It helps when you have to do something you really don't want to do. Yes, there are a bunch of sentinels in hiding. When I give the word, they're to execute both of you.
Not before I mentally refresh your brain pan with my knife.
I didn't want to do this. I guess I shouldn't have questioned the kill order so loudly. It was real. It came from the Exalted Leader herself. She summoned me, knew of the message I'd sent, said I'd ruined everything. To save myself, save the Dawn, I had to do this. I'm a coward. I didn't want to die. I'm sorry, Asa.
I do not appreciate your mockery. This is a true betrayal. One that demands to be paid for in blood. Starting with Acolyte Severin here.
No. Sentinels! Target confirmed!
The Exalted Leader sent Severin as bait, not to mention betraying the Dawn to save her own life. What a coward. The unspeakable things I will do when I find her. Well, once I find her. The Exalted... No, I won't refer to her as such any longer. Dagmar continually moved around for safety. She always initiated contact with me. We do know that she was in league with the Sentinels, though. There's nothing of it but to get ourselves inside their headquarters on Praetor. We'll track her by accessing their comm system. Couldn't have said it better myself. Fortunately, we don't need to worry about hacking their systems. Well, we won't need your expertise. You see, my parents were vigilant. I stole their access codes when I was younger, but never had the nerve or call to use them. Once we do, they'll become unusable, as they'll set off all sorts of alarms. I did mention all the killing, didn't I?
to this structure than what is observed. Initiating usage of relevant idiom. Tip of the iceberg.
Unfriendly company. They're fine.
Recharge for mayhem!
I spy my next victim. I mean, a hostile combatant.
Minimizing it.
Take an engineer to figure this out, or a very lucky idiot.
This unit's optical sensors are insufficient for scanning the nearby electrical panel for its operational effects on the bulkhead door. Excessively large, volatile weapon capable of catastrophic damage detected. This unit assumes you will attempt immediate acquisition.
company. They're mine.
Fortifying teammate.
Either restore my life or avenge my death.
Seeking cover.
Disruptive influences!
Efficient. Using substance generated by the rifts to make ammo. Seems fitting.
Emergency protocol spread.
We can do some real damage now that we've got that overpowered cannon.
Arcanist Dawn encampment ahead. Wonder if they'll be happy to see me.
My brothers and sisters. The architect has honored us with this divine gift. In the name
Enemy spotted.
Not a good look, Commander.
welcome guests will be ushered from existence promptly and without further ado. First, it was Auntie's choice, then the protector. If you possess any at all. Don't leave all full of anger now. Just leave. There's nothing even here anymore. If you're weirdly intent on dying for nothing, it's your life.
Standing by with life support. Look sharp! It's a fight! Health benefits available in your test. Heal yourself now. Repair this unit and it will strive to perform better in the future. This unit recalls Marisol stating she has an old acquaintance on the Cloister. Her presence here might reduce the likelihood of life-threatening combat.
I don't know you. Go away. I don't know you. Go away. I don't know you. Go away. I don't know you. Go away.
life support.
All stock is certified. Please peruse with discernment.
You bring a cultist into my presence? I was under the impression that you had eliminated the cultists in Newton. But I I suppose it is not utterly beyond the realm of possibility that you converted one. Just watch her. Yes! Excellent! Take that, reductionists! Your horrid little surveillance devices shall finally be used for what their purpose should have been! Don't tell anyone about that outburst, please. Here's something to keep you quiet. Not for now, but keep speaking to me thusly, and I'll think well on rescinding your audience with her. I've informed the presiding bishop you're coming to speak with her. She can be found in the room off the main stairwell. I'm sure I don't need to say this, but if you even think about bringing harm to Ruth, I shall know. Be on your very, very best behavior.
Ah, you've made such progress moving us toward an Order Auntie's Choice alliance. Everything seems to be going according to the plan so far. But we approach a critical juncture. When you go in to speak with the presiding bishop, please raise the issue with her. I assure you this is the correct thing to do. For yourself, for us, for Arcadia. If you continue working for the Order alone, it will likely burn any possible bridge with Auntie's Choice. So this is our last and only chance. That's not exactly the most reassuring attitude I'd expect you to have, but I am glad we remain firmly in agreement. Farewell. I would say good luck, but I put no stock in chance, only probability. May the plan favor us against long odds.
The Order has always proclaimed patience as a virtue, but I am pleased my waiting is finally at its endpoint. For so long, you have only existed as numerical values on a chart. A bright star in a constellation of possibilities, as it were. Now with your arrival, the Order nears the totality of its goals, provided you are willing to stay aligned with our cause. As I told you in my message, a splinter group was responsible for recruiting your fellow agent and tasking her to perpetrate that heresy. The conviction of those radicals was such that they elected to perish from exposure to Cloister's wilderness to avoid fouling their predictions and my interference. Their interpretation of the data was at odds with mine. I forbade them taking action, to no avail, obviously. I disavowed their actions then, as I do now. Faith is trust. Now, I am You're confronting how it's recently come. I should have known. I will put the the odds of you once you have met with my time. Oh, no. In reality, I counted. It is humbling. It saddens me.
See that mighty tower there? Belongs to the Archive. That she's just as impressive as that, too.
These temporary indignities of the body are nothing contrasted to the Order's future. Keep those eyes open, soldiers!
Ah, you've made... If you continue working for the Order, fair...
The Order has always proclaimed patience as a virtue, but I am pleased my waiting is finally at its endpoint. For so long, you have only existed as numerical values on a chart. A bright star in a constellation of possibilities, as it were. Now, with your arrival, the Order nears the totality of its goals, provided... As I told you in my message, a splinter group was responsible for recruiting your fellow agent and tasking her to perpetrate that heresy. The conviction of those radicals was such that they elected to perish from exposure to Cloister's wilderness to avoid fouling their predictions and my interference. Their interpretation of the data was at odds with mine. I forbade them taking action, to no avail, obviously. I disavowed their actions then, as I do now.
That sure will be some comfort the next time one of my stumps seizes up.
This kind of collateral damage is precisely what I was hoping to avoid. But that is the past. We must look toward the future now. Now then, I gather you already know who I am, but science has shown that good manners strengthen developing relationships by 5.3%. So, allow me to introduce myself. I am Ruth Bassar, third presiding bishop of the Order of the Ascendant, supreme calculator, and, plan willing, the architect of Arcadia's prosperous future. Not with a sufficient spine. Your recent exploits at Greater Tranquility Station have certainly made for compelling reading material. Confronting an assassin, and thereby sparing the delegates' lives before the rift inexplicably destroyed the station? Such a commendable effort is worthy of acknowledgement. Sorry to disappoint. However, there's something of even greater import we must discuss. It's recently come to my attention that secret communications have been exchanged between Laplace's garden and the undisputed claim. Do you know anything about that? I should have known. Vicar Levin has made this appeal to me at least thrice since his return. He really cannot accept a solution he did not devise. Wise enough to recognize the perils, too. But the right course often involves remaining open to new possibilities. I will put the question to you one final time. Are you certain you would rather pursue this path than work exclusively with the Order? There will be no future option to reconsider. Then I will endeavor to bring that vision to fruition, if the plan wills it. A true in-person meeting between myself and Auntie could never take place due to the security risks. But perhaps a remote conference could be a viable alternative. The odds of you persuading Auntie Cleo to agree are unfavorable. But the math does improve if you have greater standing within her corporation. Everyone serves a function in the plan. The sooner you make peace with yours, the more effective you will become in the execution of your role. Once you have met with Auntie, instruct her to send me a communique. We can finesse the details of a conference then. My time is yours, for the moment. Oh, the Laureate Council simply draws a name out of a hat. Serious study does not preclude a sense of humor, though apparently being an Earth Directorate agent does. In reality, I was recommended for my position by the preceding bishop. Paired with my skills as a seer, I was the natural choice when it came time for the council to vote. Thank you for that charitable assessment. My predecessor, Presiding Bishop Orlo, and I had a close working relationship. He knew I possessed the skills and temperament for the role. I counted him a friend. Orlo shared with me his doubts about the Order's partnership with the Protectorate, the compromises made. He had many such regrets at the end of his life. Likely not, but it is the responsibility of every student to surpass their mentor in understanding and sentiment. And I can reliably assert that I have done that. Call it proof of concept. Laplace's garden is more than its aesthetic. It offers a vision of a future free from the despotic rule of narrow-minded jingoists, where the fruit of the plan can finally ripen. It saddens me to see the garden so despoiled by our wartime presence. But with the loss of Spirton, necessity dictated we quarter here in the interim. May you achieve progress in accordance with the plan.
Well, aren't you the eccentric sort?
At this time, residents of Laplace's garden are not permitted beyond this point.
breaking into water reconditioning, are we? Shame Archivist Tam left the garden before completing his project. I wonder if he left any of his notes behind in his lab. Anyway, what can I do for you? Kind of you to say, but I merely prioritize salience over eloquence. Too many in the Order forget how to be people while they're pursuing godhood. More than happy to oblige. Laplace's garden is a glimpse into Arcadia's future, should the Order achieve victory in this conflict. Such an outcome, however, remains to be determined. Consider the garden a proof of concept. Here we have an ideal society where everyone contributes to the plan without any threat of distraction. In theory. Not at all. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have complete faith in the plan, would I?
Good timing. It doesn't change much these days. I hope you have something challenging for me to cure.
And so there was light. My sincerest thanks. I will be sure to extol your virtues to the laureates the next time we speak. And here, a little treat for your effort.
What do you need? Of course.
Can't you see I'm busy trying to look busy?
Appear to need something. Looking's free.
Don't even think about disrupting the marketplace. How about I do my job, and you do?
Sorry. Schedule an appointment if you need to talk to me. Go consume, like a good consumer.
Have a profitable day.
How do you eat Bubbleberry
Can't
Crunch?
help you.
Real warriors eat it right from the box.
Any news from the field? Any further progress? Well, excellent. Good show. I'll rest a bit easier tonight. Not as blissfully oblivious to our struggles as others here, mind you, but better. Anyhow, here's your reward. Pleasure doing business with you. Anything else to report? Learn anything useful? Ha! A base opportunist after my own heart. Well, she can continue swindling the Protectorate then. Here's a little something for your trouble.
Looks like you're back to talk business. How can I help you? Let me take a gander. Ah, boot components. This is meant for the quartermaster at the camp guarding the archive lift, just northwest of the archive. There should be a finder's fee if you bring these to them. Do carry on.
Hey, you there. Hey, you there. I got a job that needs doing if you've got the time. It pays, of course. I need help finding some lost supplies. Well, I'll be. That's them, all right. Can I offer you a finder's fee for asset recovery? All right, here, keep your trousers on. Just don't tell anyone else. Can't have other folk expecting danger pay all the time. Can you reckon what the cost of danger pay for an army at war would be? It'd be ruinous.
Biomass, slug throwers, everything but frost guns. That's all the victims missed. Good thing my security crew are all fresh.
Sir, the extra food drop has landed somewhere off target over in Order territory.
Exactly where I wanted it. They act all high and mighty, but I give them 30 minutes before they cave and try it. New customers, hook, line, and sinker.
Devious and ingenious, sir. I'll have to remember this one.
To waste them on your command. Let me know when you needed a stretch.
That bridge has seen better days.
Give the word and I'll take care of him, Commander.
Temperature falling.
Can't have our fearless leader firing on him. Let's get the prep.
That bridge has seen better days.
Ready to waste. On your command.
Commander, you are dying. It is not advised at this time.
Ain't nothing there.
Sending me into desolation would mend what he saw as wounds in my mind. The first few weeks were horrible. Grief dogging my every step. Nightmares of my murdered colleagues. But then, the nightmares began to ease, and the grief ebbed away. What replaced them is emptiness. The Order speaks of humanity becoming something more, but their words are insufficient speculation. There is nothing more to be. Only dust and death. And the rifts await us. Those rifts, I find the absolute annihilation they offer oddly soothing. Perhaps I will make one last pilgrimage. One last journey on the path from nothing to nowhere.
Sorry to cut you off, but I'm encumbered with various concerns of existential variety.
Welcome, distinguished consumer, to the front lines of Auntie's Choice. We hope you enjoy your time
Welcome,
under
big
our
spender.
protection. You must be who Huguenard contracted to deal with our protectorate dilemma. I'd rather have had the credit for delegating that work. But regardless, Auntie's owes you a thank you. I'm open to ideas. What would you expect that they've done with the archive?
Apparently they've added more automechs, turrets. Those protectorate scum squeezed us good this time.
For the last time, I don't know any more than you do. Shipment must have gotten lost long past time.
What do you mean?
Given that I see neither purple nor berry nor crunch, I'm inclined to say that you're wrong.
Here I have you to thank for my transfer going through from Winter's Grasp. Wouldn't have happened if you hadn't reconnected our territory. Anyhow, I'm grateful. Not in a free goods and services way, mind you, but in a fondly appreciative manner. How might I help you? Yup, Auntie's Choice heals all ails. Not responsible for epidermal necrolysis, vanishing fingerprints, or immediate onset pernicious anemia.
I cannot believe how bloody cold this place is. I can literally see my words freeze before my face as I say them.
Ah, stop complaining. At least the ship's hull breaks the wind. Imagine how bad it would
The scrappers are getting closer and sniffing around at night. They give me the creeps.
And I would rather have them scavenging than attacking us. So long as they stay over there, I...
Welcome to Auntie's Choice. We look forward to your
Auntie's Choice Antibiotics cures most infections overnight and smooths away stubborn wrinkles. Auntie's Choice Immunosol, multi-spectrum antibiotics in convenient injection packaging. Auntie Cleo and Pal's Crab Witch, tender, buttery, boneless. It's a sandwich you want to eat. Auntie's Choice Meaty Roll-Ups, 100% of your daily fiber needs, if packaging is also consumed.
Welcome, fellow disgruntled worker. Can't say I recognize you. You come from a different plant to support our cause? We're causing trouble. We just found out that we're basically slave labor. And now we're learning to stand up for ourselves. We need the proletariat to yield to, worker subjugation by xenophobic proxy? No, that ain't right. But it's something that sounds super fancy when Will explains it. Honestly, we just want to eat, sleep, and relieve ourselves on a reasonable schedule. But the damn overseer, I think she's getting rich off of breaking our backs. I ain't sure how you're gonna get in. This door is barred from the inside, and I don't think there's another way in on the ground floor. That's right, folks! Keep the chanting going! I can see the overseer.
No more bottles!
This base is the gateway to the archive. Possibly some outdoor
We don't want to make demands, but no more being in bottles and cans! Others get the exact same pay, but only work 12-hour days!
Yes? The whole reason we set up here is to avoid customers. Is there something you need? See that repackaging facility down there? We're supposed to be working it, slaving away for a few meager bits that we then gotta use to pay for our own necessities. They work us like cysty pigs, charge us for the stems we need to yoke those hours, and don't let us relieve ourselves but in empty fizzy tea bottles we keep beneath our stations. So, we're making trouble until that changes. Until we get some respect. Until the privy is left open all day. Can't imagine what. Ain't like you could fix all of Auntie's Choice's hierarchy by your own self. I don't think you could even change this one dumpish overseer ruining our lives. Now, if you'll excuse me.
and clandestine infiltration.
Reminds me more and more of Tau Ceti by the minute. These folk burned this place to the ground? I ain't telling.
Welcome to Auntie's Fine Product Revitalization Center, where we create tomorrow's brands today. I assume you are the disruption ameliorator from home office? It was about damn time you got here. This labor stoppage has put us almost a full week behind schedule and is making me look quite the fool. Unsophisticated, impertinent, dim-witted. You'll fit right in with my peons. So, maybe it'll make sense to you when they babble about basic dignity and human rights. It should go without saying that such flights of fantasy have no place inside Auntie's Choice, and if we were still in Tau Ceti, they would face grave consequences.
I reckon she's got her wires crossed. Basic dignity is what Auntie's Choice promised us when we signed up, so long as we were good at our work. And while we might have faced grave consequences back on Tau Ceti, it was under old management, who were trounced rather thoroughly in the end, I might add.
Nevertheless, here, we must focus on getting these ingrates back to work and remind them that they're damn lucky to have Auntie's Choice to dedicate their lives to. What? No, that would never... Well, actually whipping them might keep them awake and on task better than the adrena time we give them. Why, the nerve you have. I am running this facility because I am an invaluable resource, because I am indispensable to Auntie's efforts. As a managerial administrativist, and when I say I, it is critical that you understand that as director of this facility, I should effectively be treated as though I were an executive. Is that clear? Well, there's no call for rudeness. It's unnecessary, unprofessional, and distracts us from the important business that I have the direct authority to dispatch you upon. This plant relabels dated items with new Auntie's Choice trademarks and slogans. It is critical to keeping revitalized products on the shelf for consumers hungry for something new. So, the workers may be unhappy, but they must realize their comfort is a distant second to Auntie's delivery schedule. Or in short, they need to get back to work. My workers are striking people now? How very alarming. We must resolve this before things get even further out of hand. They've appointed some kind of leader, and he's the one you have to talk to. His name is, Dummy? No, that's not right. Dunce? Dummer. Dumley? Dunbar. It's Dunbar. I believe he has demands, but I can't be bothered to remember what they were. They alter the generous terms Auntie offers, and so are egregious and should be rejected. You will find him up on the landing pad with some of his minions. Go help him understand the situation so everyone can get back to work. That clear? Yes, well, I'm sure you'll manage. Auntie has faith in you, therefore I shall too. Best of luck to you. Remember that your actions don't just reflect on you, you are also representing me, which is to say, you are also representing Auntie. Do us proud.
detecting unusually
If
elevated.
you won't let us sleep for 8, you can't charge us for stimulates!
I ain't aiming to seem rude, but I got a lot to deal with right now. Unless this is mighty important, I'll respectfully ask to be left to my business. That's good to hear. I'm glad Auntie's taking our situation seriously. The problem is, well, it's like this. Auntie's got to prioritize worker prosperity over productivity. What we've got now is, poor labor retention techniques? What's going on is, remind me again?
An inhospitable occupational environment that ignores worker safety and health concerns.
Right, that. Right. Exactly. The conditions under which Auntie extracts our labor is, unacceptable. They're egregious, even.
They work 20-hour shifts, which require stims to endure that are charged at a premium. Adrena time is actually cheaper on the undisputed plane than it is here. And if that inhuman brutality isn't enough to offend basic decency, they're also barred from using the restroom throughout the business day. Their 20-hour business day. It is an unconscionable condition to keep these workers in. I can't imagine how hard it is for them to coordinate their daily duties.
Our shifts need to be reduced to 12 hours a day. 4 hours of personal time ain't even enough to rest, much less get any actual living done. Second, if we gotta work those long hours, we want free Adrena time. Bad enough it's making everything taste like we're gnawing nickel pads. Having to pay for the pleasure's too far. Finally, we want all-day bathroom access. Expecting us to fit our necessities into the same 4 hours is just mean. Plus, between us, most folk ain't, if you get my meaning. Thank you for your trying. I don't know if we'll get it all, but every bit you add makes some part of our lives a whole lot easier.
Others get the exact same pay, but only work 12 hours.
Welcome back, Ameliorator. Did you make contact with workers? Do they understand that this stoppage is madness? Are they ready to return? So, what are these ingrate alley sprats willing to settle for? Golden privies and gilded sheaths to be spoon-fed crunch whenever their tummies rumble? 8-hour workdays? 12-hour? Are they mad? What are they gonna do with the other half of the day? Lounge around the facility consuming air and water and power without compensating the company? I am, frankly, disappointed you would even bring me such a preposterous demand. You should have nipped this offensive arrogance in the bud. A lunch break, you say? I suppose that might be a compromise I could make. It would still be a black eye on my sterling reputation, but at least it would get them back to work. All right, you've convinced me. What else do they want? Free? Giving something away for free? What in the void are you? What? What is... What more? Welcome back, Ameliorator. Did you make contact with workers? Well...
Unusually elevated
levels of disgruntlement.
I can see the overseer on the factory floor.
I ain't aiming to seem rude, but I got a lot to deal with right now. Unless this is mighty important, I'll respectfully ask to be left to my business. And he's got a remind me?
And it...
Right. That.
And if it is an unconscionable condition to keep these workers in.
Our shift second. Finally. We want all day.
Welcome back, Ameliorator. Auntie and I continue to have high hopes that you will come to So, what are the 12? I am, frankly, disappointed you would even bring me such a preposterous demand. You should have nipped this offensive arrogance in the bud. I suppose that's true. It wouldn't take much to put enough pep in their proverbial step to make up for 2 lost hours. Their overall productivity might even improve. That would translate into more profit for the plant, which means larger bonuses for me, which should be more than enough to make up for the drop in hourly production. All right, you've convinced me. What else do they want? Free? Free? Nothing inside of Auntie's Choice is free. Law, nothing in life is free. Everything has a cost. Everything. Materials, labor, time, distribution, forced scarcity. Giving something away for free is akin to ignoring the cost of its creation, which is one small step from the system completely breaking down and plunging us all into anarchy. What in the void are you talking about? My greed is certainly doing no such thing. What? No, I would never. That's slander and or libel. And you can't prove a thing. Well, fuck. That's quite the rub, isn't it? All right, what do you want? Huh. I don't know why you would waste leverage on them, but I suppose you've got your reasons. All right. They'll get their Adrena time, and you'll get all the bits I got on me. Is there more they ask? They want to relieve themselves on company time? I've never heard something so preposterous. Can you imagine how many bits that loss of productivity will cost us? What if they lounge? What if they take time to relax? What if they retreat to indulge their baser urges? Auntie would be paying for all manner of unprofitable shenanigans. Somewhere? Oh, that actually explains the odor in storage room 3. I never imagined they might be... I'll get the door unlocked immediately, and cleaning crews dispatched. What more do they want? Very good. Ha! I was going to say very good, but that would be downright farcical. There is nothing good about this situation. Please, just resolve it as quickly as possible.
If you won't let us sleep or ain't, you can't.
Hello again. Do you have news for us about the negotiations? That's as fine a place to start as any. What did that tyrant have to say for herself? She willing to see reason? Well, I can't begin to tell you what a relief that is. By which I mean, that's great news. It'll be such a load off. A most promising development. How go the other hurdles of the negotiation? She willing to see reason? Free? Really? Why, I'd surely have lost that bet. I figured we'd ask for free and settle for wholesale. You're a miracle worker. What's next? Excellent. What progress have you made? Well, that certainly is disappointing. But I suppose we'll manage. An extra 2 hours off a day will make life a little easier, at least. Well, you have done exceptionally well by us, my new friend. With these new conditions, we'll return to work with vigor rather than dread. Thank you.
Damn! I really felt like I was close to signing all of you, and I needed that recruitment bonus. I don't know how I'm going to afford my hair cream now, but I'll get him next time. And he won't always have you working her ankles for her. And her usual agents don't stand a chance against me.
Next time? Against you? What in law's name are you saying? Sometimes you talk so odd it don't sound like you're Auntie's choice at all.
Yeah, I was starting to have the same thought.
It don't matter. All that matters is my working conditions have just improved mightily. Thanks to you, stranger. Now, if you'll excuse us, we're gonna get back to work.
Congratulations on ending the strike, Commander. These laborers may now continue their work until death or retirement occur first.
If you mean to ally with the Order, reckon I can't blame you. You and I could only exert so much influence over Auntie's choice. And it's obvious they can't help themselves. More importantly, it's becoming clear to me that folk don't actually want us here. Westport resisted as long as they could. You think that doesn't extend to the rest of the populace? There is another option. The Order. They're trying to do right by the refugees, after all, and seem reasonable when they ain't being strong-armed by extremists. You could consider them. The battles will continue, whether or not you're paying mind. If you ain't careful, you might find yourself surrounded without an ally. Listen, normally I'd take issue with one person playing Kingmaker. That is to say, you and especially the Earth Directorate. But time's too short, and the stakes are too high for tribalism. There'll be enough time for that later. For now, we need to ally with someone who can defeat the Protectorate and close the rifts. So whatever you decide, I'll support you. We should move on, unless you've got something for me.
The workers have returned and production has resumed. Wonderful work, our disruption ameliorator. I do wish it had gone more smoothly, but I understand you did what you must. I have already informed the Home Office, and with it, put in an extra sprinkling of mild praise directly with Auntie. She will, no doubt, be excited to learn of my approval. You may tell the executives that dispatched you that you have done an adequate job. Under my keen supervision, of course.
Better go see.
Poor deranged soul.
It's a brawl!
Take them into cover!
Aggressors near.
Looking a little woozy there, Commander. Emergency protocol service assigned.
Anyone else here on that end? Hostile ahead. What's the plan?
This unit is in need of assistance.
Protectorate personnel. Only beyond this point. Leave immediately. If you are not of the Protectorate, you are this unit's enemy. Preparing to unleash disproportionate amount of ammunition on unresponsive bystander.
Let me handle this.
Health benefits available at your request. Directorate agents are exempt from commands issued by non-director level entities. Requires extensive repairs.
Back in business.
Due to an anomalous event, the interstitial hall and exhibition tower is off limits for the foreseeable future to any and all non-essential personnel. All requests to view the prototype Rift Anomaly Modulator are hereby suspended for the time being. Please direct all further queries and study petitions to the lead researcher's office.
subjects, listen well. Days ago, our beloved sovereign, in his infinite wisdom, submitted himself to mental refreshment to strengthen his resolve for the good of all. At his command, I, Emery Thoreau, now accept the responsibility of shepherding you through these dark times until our sovereign's blessed return. I shall not take this duty lightly, for I address you today not as the consul, nor even as your new leader, which I am, but as a simple man who wants nothing more than to defend his home and his neighbors. But I cannot do it alone.
Comparative analysis of the consul's speech to that.
Time for that. It is a time to celebrate the bravery of our once and future sovereign. So dry those tears as I call upon you to tall with renewed zeal. Together, we will finish our great sovereign's work and purge our kingdom from those who seek to
Enemies detected.
My aftermarket parts are shifting to a less exposed spot.
Arcadia, never to be outdone.
Armed and ready.
Our colony.
Under the guidance of
For our beneficent leader. Recommencing hostilities. The Protectorate endures.
Something here.
I know how this looks, but I can assure you I have leave to look into... Oh, you're not security. Then you must be responsible for all the commotion I heard just now. I haven't the desire to contend with you on the matter. Not when you are so armed. For both our sakes, I think it best if we continue as we were. I will forget I saw you as long as you extend me the same courtesy. I was looking for proof, if you must know. There was an incident recently, and I believe our head of security is neglecting his duty to investigate. Albin Valancourt is the sentinel charged with supervising this facility and all its researchers. Unfortunately, he's a punitive man who delights in the wretchedness of others. I'd grasp a live rod if I could pass its current to him. Although, unless you have unusual license to be here, his odds of keeping head and body united diminish by the second. That must have been so difficult for you. Unless your lamps have oxidized, you must have noticed my arm. I lost it saving the Sovereign from a rift experiment gone wrong. An experiment I was in charge of. Naturally. Valancourt supplied my name for the reports, incriminating me in the eyes of my colleagues. And since he's closed off that wing of the lab, I can't prove my innocence. I should have known you were here for the prototype. But for what ill-begotten purpose, I wonder? I'll scream if you try anything, and I have rather formidable vocal cords. So, would you care to try another answer? Actually, I think you'll find it is. I did mention my position at this facility, did I not? Nor do I. Everything is turning base over apex today. Coincidence is not causation, I know. But with recent events being what they are, it's difficult not to draw certain unpalatable theories beyond mere incompetence. Sabotage comes foremost to mind, though the perpetrator and purpose remain a mystery. If only Valancourt was not at permanent cross-purposes with me. Much can be said of Valancourt's unsavory character, but a traitor he is not. But if not him, then who? Even though we have expanded our efforts beyond the modulator's use, Valancourt would still pay for such a theft. And I'll need it to reopen the rift in a closed-off wing. I couldn't possibly rely on an outsider to help me conduct an investigation, could I? No, that would be outrageous, unthinkable. Except, whatever the cause of the incident, it is my duty as a law-abiding Protectorate subject to gather proof and uncover its cause. Really, Valancourt is forcing my hand here. That is privileged information.
All bones in the human body serve a purpose.
Some things I cannot divulge, even under pain of death. This is one of them. All I can say is that the prototype is just that. A proof of concept rendered in miniature. Back to the topic at hand. Do we have an accord? Or do you intend to make further errors in judgment by rejecting my help? Help you with acquisition? Assuredly not. If, however, in your exploration of the lab, you happen upon the modulator, I surely would not be able to prevent you from seizing it. What I am offering is help afterward. Once you take the prototype, it will set off an immediate lockdown. I can facilitate your exit from the facility, but only if you help me in turn. That modulator will be necessary to unfold the rift and find the evidence I need. And if Valancourt suffers repercussions for its loss, I will count that as an added benefit. The prototype rift modulator is currently in Interstitial Hall at the top of Exhibition Tower. There's a lift in the next room over that can take you directly there. Once you have the prototype, make your way to Valancourt's quarters. He should have a spare key card that will grant us access to the restricted wing. I'll monitor your progress from here. Be cautious. The guards of this facility will attack anyone unfamiliar to them. But once you have the key card and rift device, reconvene here, and we'll go together to the wing. That is what we've agreed upon, is it not?
Matriarch's pride. We can't be expected to sleep in these conditions. Better than bivouacking on Cloister. Poe's missing his testament.
What was... Initiating service.
Looks like a fight. Five-star grenade!
Each a vital cog. They would drive us into disarray.
Restoring the balance!
Sensors indicate unknown biological matter within the rift. Giving place.
Worry found! Be a good neighbor!
Maintaining perfection.
Caution! Restoring the balance!
Prototype rift anomaly modulator located.
Rightly so.
Restoring the balance.
Lockdown initiated.
Quickly, use the modulator to open the rift. It may provide your only avenue for escape.
Yes, you with... It's not every day that someone is fool enough to break into the Interstitial Reconfiguration Center. I'd be obliged if you would regale me with the tale of how you managed to get this far. A crude assessment and utterly untrue. I am perfectly accommodating to non-incompetence. I suspect you did not reach here unaided. So who was it? Which one of my undutiful brain boxes helped sponsor this little pilferage? Act glib if you like. All you've done is illustrate the need for more invasive auditing of my personnel. I'll be sure to inform them of your role in that unpleasantness. Well, there will be time to scrutinize every angle of this breach at a later date, once I have dealt with you. Does such bravado normally advance your agenda? So be it. We can forgo civilities. I will await you in the hangar. There, bullets may fly more freely than words.
Potential combatants in the vicinity.
Looks like a fight.
Emergency protocol.
Edging forward.
course of this morning's demonstration, we have finally proven my central thesis. Matter within the rifts is not permanently destroyed. Broken down into pure information. This confirms many of our theories about the rift to an overwhelming degree, including the potential to restore this information, albeit imperfectly. I expect the Sovereign will be most pleased. I'm scheduled to meet with him later today to discuss my findings more in depth. Note to self, impress upon the Sovereign the risks of this research, lest he insist on attending the next demonstration. We surely cannot rely on Valancourt to do his actual job.
Enemy near. Statistical chance of violence.
Sure am glad we don't have to fight the Automex, Commander. All that plating on metal is giving me a headache. Think we can open that goopy rift now? Close.
Do you suppose this life form detected?
my family's wise counselor for more years than I have drawn breath, Emery. But that does not grant you the right to challenge my will.
Why, I challenge nothing. I simply offer guidance.
It's my professional opinion that Valancourt's got
the wish nor the strength to usurp
This
your
manner of
authority.
tidiness is compensating for something.
On my rift research. What I cannot understand is what you intend to do with it. What exactly are you plotting?
Suspicion is unbecoming, Henry. And restoring Arcadia to resplendence is my sole aim. As it should be yours. Yet you remain intent to use the rift for the most tenuous of means.
You forget yourself, Consul. Pray, I do not forget all the loyal service you have given me, or you might lose more than just your standing in my affections.
Having that device nabbed on his watch nigh guarantees Valancourt a long stay and mental refreshment, if he is not subjected to swift and fitting arbitration first. Matriarch's blessings on you. Let's not waste time then. I'll lead us to the restricted wing now. Once there, reopen the rift using the modulator, so we can begin searching for clues. This way. There's the sorry excuse of interstitial reconfigurating matter that claimed my arm. Let's open the hood, shall we? Rifts reconstitute matter in an imprecise manner, but use your imagination to conjure the original. We will see. That could lead us to the evidence we need. You've discovered something? I knew it! I am absolved. And yet, I cannot possibly imagine what would have possessed him to deliberately endanger the Sovereign's life. It's unconscionable. I would characterize Valancourt as many vile and unmentionable things, but a traitor? No. The man cannot defecate without humming a Protectorate anthem. For all the time I've spent trying to unsnarl Valancourt's mercurial behavior, it seems there was yet more I did not know about him. Did you uncover anything else? I had heard rumors of the Sovereign's diminished popularity since the war began, but I scarcely trusted their veracity. That any subject should commit such an abominable offense against the Matriarch's own blood? It is nigh impossible to fathom. I think I'm beginning to understand exactly what happened here. But if you have any additional points of data, please share them. How did this go unnoticed during final checks? This is surely why the rift destabilized on us. You've provided more evidence than I could have hoped for. Thank you. Valancourt must have sought to curry favor with the Consul by eliminating the Sovereign and making space for the Consul to step into power. He sabotaged the machine, hoping the Rift would perform his dirty work for him, and left me to suffer the repercussions. Our dear head of security has much to answer for. We need to go and confront Valancourt, now. I'm no longer willing to wait for the arc of justice to bend in my favor. Valancourt needs to die for what he's done. If I distract him, can I count on you to do the rest? The kind that buys you time to do what you need to. If we can find a way to isolate Valancourt from his forces, he will be much easier to deal with. I'll go first, follow behind, but not too closely. We don't want him to see you. If you can reach the back of the hangar, stealthily, there's a ladder up to some turrets, which you can deploy against Valancourt. Careful not to turn them on me, too. I'll keep Valancourt talking so that you can get a good angle on him, but his patience isn't limitless, so be swift. Attack when ready. No need to wait for a signal from me. Oh, and there's also a rift in the hangar. An experimental byproduct, as it were. I would avoid interacting with it, lest you alert Valancourt to our ploy.
Dr. Hurley, pleasant as I find your company, I must ask you to vacate the area at once. I'm preparing our defenses against an intruder.
Hold the pleasantries, Valancourt. I know you sabotaged the experiment that nearly killed me and the Sovereign. I have the proof.
Calm yourself, Doctor. Such a belligerent tone is unbecoming from one of your profession.
Don't tell me to calm down, you traitorous worm. Someone, either you or acting under your orders, deliberately removed a vital part from the rift generator, ensuring a catastrophic failure. I've seen this sabotage myself.
For you to have discovered that, you'd have needed to reopen the rift. Ah, you're collaborating with the thief, aren't you? Oh, Doctor. Big mistake.
I'm going to report you to Central Control. The Sentinels should know one of their own has gone rogue.
Oh, shall I break and quiver? Your threats are wasted air. We Sentinels are now empowered to act extrajudiciously. I was merely taking initiative. It matters not if the Consul failed to recognize— Ah, here's our little sprat now. Be assured, after I deal with my traitorous subordinate here, you're next.
Traitor? If anyone's a traitor
You'll
here—
die now, burglar.
Let me handle this. power from the rift generator, ensuring a catastrophic failure. I've seen this sabotage myself.
For you to have discovered that, you have needed to reopen the rift. Aren't you? Oh. Big mistake.
To central control. The Sentinels should know one of their own has gone rogue.
Oh, shall I quake and quiver? Ah, here's our little sprat now. Be assured, after I deal with my traitorous subordinate here, you're next.
Always to traitors. Morale will certainly improve in the lab now, I should think, provided Valancourt's replacement is not also an absolute Pilgarlic. I had prepared this trauma kit, but obviously that turned out to be an unnecessary precaution. Please, take it with my gratitude. Have no fear. No evidence of our little collaboration will survive. I'll see to it.
Now that you have the Rift modulator, any previously inaccessible rifts could be worth revisiting. Rifts may contain useful equipment and resources. However, due to the chaotic nature of reconstitution, some creative problem-solving may be required in reaching them.